Hello friends, and welcome back to Learn With Me Calligraphy. I'm your host, Christopher, and today we are working on flourishes. I hope you practiced last week on your style, because today we're going to extend its possibilities. Up until now, we've created jots, tittles, letters, and words. We've explored how we can create different versions of these, and even ventured out onto the ledge of our own way of creating these words. Today is the turning point of our calligraphy, from communication into art form, starting with a flourish. Now, you may be wondering why these are here. What's the point of adding an extension to a word? Well, maybe this extravagance doesn't match your version of calligraphy. Maybe you'd rather have it sharp, bold, and direct. Good. Hold on to that. Even focus on it as I go through these exercises and apply them. The goal here isn't to just add one more tool to your toolbox. It's to study how we might be able to take a word and not just give it definition, but depth. Let me show you what I'm trying to communicate, or attempting to communicate at least. Because with this E that we're doing, and doing rather poorly I might add, we're trying to give it just a little bit more character. We're not just saying an E, we're almost giving it a life of its own per se. And to that end, flourishes are kind of like ribbons in a dancer's hand. At their best, they are an extension of the dancer, and in turn, an expression that goes far beyond just what the dancer could do. They ebb and flow in unison with the word to create a pleasing composition. At worst, they become the reason why the dancer trips and the piece falls flat. Now, it can be subtle, as to simply feel off, or it can ruin the look of the entire piece. If you're looking for an exact method on how to get it right, I really don't have any way to solve that for you. I don't have an option to give you. But what I can tell you, at least if you are creating a flourish or a swash, is that it's effortless. Even if it takes a long time and a lot of practice, you won't have these hiccups that I am currently having. For example, my nib ended up catching right here, and you can immediately tell that the line work is off. You can also tell it right in here. A flourish or a swash should feel and look like one easy, fluid motion. It's just an extension of your arm. And boy, am I flubbing it up. Let's actually grab another pen here, just to make it a little bit easier to see what I'm trying to attempt, because my chisel is acting up a lot today. So, again, we're going to work with this flourish here. And we're just going to come around and follow it through. Again, right in here, it's just a little too thin. We'll try it one more time. And it's just the way this particular nib moves. I'm still not really used to this, since I have been kind of like putting myself in the bubble of the chisel tips. But yeah, it should all feel as if all you're doing is just gliding across the paper, and just once you've created the word, just adding a little bit of extension to the word. There's a little bit of a simpler look with that flourish, But that flourish adds just a little bit more to that style. Actually, we're going to move on to the L here, because I think that will communicate our point just a little bit better. Yes, much better. It didn't feel perfect in my hand. It's still kind of clunky. But the way it looks is 10 times better. It just, you can feel the movement. With this particular style, it almost feels like Art Nouveau. How it's just an elegant movement of motion. We're going to do that L one more time here, see if I can even replicate it without the lines. Yeah. But yeah, with these particular flourishes and swashes, it's just going to flow and ebb, and it'll all move as one until you finished it. Again, it's a lot of practice to get where you want to be, but once you're there, and the hand movement's under control, and the nib moves across the page, it should all just feel smooth. You shouldn't have any kind of rough cuts or hiccups or anything like that. Go with this second one here. And yeah, that feels so much better. Pay attention to, when you start to do this, how far your pen is going. Get that motion under control. I don't know if you can see it in here. My hand feels a little bit wobbly when I finish out some of these flourishes. And again, it might not show up here, but definitely on a real page, looking at it in real life, it'll definitely show up. And sometimes it's just speed that may iron it out. Speed here really helped a bit. It kind of didn't quite work on the end, but up top here it really helped smooth it out a bit. Come down here and we'll do this one. Actually, let's switch again. I want to see if I can get this a little bit thinner. What do I have here? A graphic 2 or maybe a micron. We can try both. Let's do the micron first because I want a bit of a thinner look. So we're going to go around. And again, these are guidelines. Whatever feels most natural is going to look the best. Even if you have to train your hands in the way it goes, definitely go with what feels. There we go. With what feels most natural. That's kind of looking like an E. It's not perfect, but it's getting there. Let me see. I kind of want to do it a little bit more upright. Yeah, and it's not, it does need to be slanted. It doesn't look quite right to do it like this. And again, it's practice, learning what works and what doesn't. Okay, and now back to our L here. We're going to move it a little bit faster. We need to extend out a bit more. Let's go like this. Yeah, something like that. You'll get a feel for it. I clearly need to work on it a bit, but you'll start to feel it as you go along. Now let's apply some of this to some words. And hello, hello word, hello word. I think I'm going to switch to my graphic 2 and see how that does here. And again, we're not starting up here. We're adding a flourish. So let's go here. Again, we're not doing cursive. Remember, we're still needing to press down firmly, pull up lightly, and pick up. Go through. Yeah, something like that. It's not perfect, but you kind of get the idea. Just these swatches and flourishes, they just add a little bit more to the overall composition. Now, is it perfect? No, I clearly need more work, and definitely need to work on my line work. But it comes across more as not just a word, but a piece of art. And that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish here today, is how can we get it from, okay, I just wrote the word dream, to this is its own thing, not just a word in a sentence. So let's see how we're going to do dream here. We're going to flick it around, and I think I want to actually switch back. Simply because with my graphic 2, I'm not nearly as good, and I can't delineate from the heavy to the lighter line, as you can see. So let's try here with this. And there, right there. Just messed up a little bit. Just pay attention to things like that and where it's getting hung up for you and where you can improve. Okay, and do this. And we'll fling it out here. There we go. Not bad. Again, not my favorite. The M really needs some work, especially the connection we have going here. But you get the idea. And if you like this style, please follow along with me. If not, continue in your own style. See what you can improve there. In fact, after I finish out this one, I think we'll move on to a book here, and we'll play around with it a bit more. Yeah, kinda, almost sorta. I think I agree with what she did here originally by cutting off that G. Oh, and I completely forgot to add that flourish. Maybe if we added that, might look a little bit better. But yeah, I don't think the R necessarily need to be connected. Ooh, lady. Actually, we'll do that. Just like airport lady. Interesting. I think I'm gonna start with the L, and we'll go like this. L. Then our A. Then our D, but we'll come back, swing it around, Fly in. Bring it back. And finish it out like that. Probably could have come back with the Y, because I think those two opposing lines probably would have worked a whole lot better. Let's try it again. Let's do L A. Oh, hold on. Hold the phone. We're gonna grab our big boy calligraphy pen here. You know what? Yeah, let's move on. Let's move to our sketchbook for lady. There we go. And yeah, if you're following along with me, I'm going to use the word lady, but pick out any word and see how you can add any kind of flourish or swatch to it. And it doesn't have to be something that's like very long and flowing. It could be really hard. Let me give you an example here. So, not great, but a flourish. Long, flowing. Or maybe we need an accent piece. Let's do our A here. And maybe we want to do something really different with our A. Like, I don't know, maybe something like that. That is still a flourish or a swatch. It's a little bit extra to add to create not just letter or word, but an overall composition. So let's do a large L, not a little L. Let's go like, well, something like that. And then maybe we do something with the D here. Let's let's go something like I'm not sure actually. Let's finish it out. Then we'll do our Y out here. Then our D. We need to finish this out somehow. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it doesn't immediately come to you. But really trying to figure out how to add little extras to make the overall composition work well. And I'm thinking it's just not quite working for me. Part of that's because of the Y. That's very thin. How about it finishes it, but it doesn't work. It's too tall. Let's try this again. Ooh. Stop jittering on the page. Honestly, if anyone knows why it does that, if it's just the nib is getting worn out, let me know. I am genuinely curious as to why. Then our D. There we go. That feels a little bit more flushed out. Tail on the Y probably shouldn't have been this extravagant, but I like where it ends. It seems to fit a little bit better. It could be a little bit more down, but the design of it works a whole lot better than this. And it's just a couple of little flourishes, a little bit of change to the overall design. Not closing this, I think, was one of the bigger ones. Closing it to add to these loops really helps. So instead, if we close this, I think that would even add more to it. Let's try it. Let's go. This, that, and close it out to add to the design. There we go. Make a sweeping loop, come back around, and we'll loop it again. Line work needs a whole lot of work here, but it's much better in terms of composition and keeping the theme the same. Let's come back. We'll do it one more time up here. I think we'll try and be as slow as we can. That might be my personal issue. We'll find out here. Oh, come on. Give me the ink. Give me the ink. Okay. We're probably going to cut in. Yeah, we should cut down more. And maybe we leave it. And that simplicity just adds a little bit more. And right back to it, I'm already looking at it going, okay, the L looks italicized and the A and the D don't. Should slant that a bit more. But yeah, essentially, this is what the practice is with the flourishes. This is what we're trying to do, is just slowly massage it until the word almost becomes an art piece. So let's try one more word before we call it here. What would be a fun one? Well, since it's the season, let's try Christmas. We'll go big. Yeah. We need to do something back here. Let's maybe. And then we'll go like this. Maybe we do something like that. And maybe it totally fails. I don't know. We'll see what we come up with here. Oh, no. Bad. I keep wanting to delve into cursive. That is a horrible attitude. Now if that was an F, that might look interesting. But yeah, I think our Christmas needs a whole lot of work. Let's see. Alright. Let's see what we can do here with a flourish. Let's loosen up the hand a bit. Get ready. Get set. Okay. Okay, how can we work this? Oh no, come on. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, play around with it. See what you can come up with. And I think that about wraps it up for us. It'll be next week will actually be our final episode. We're going to add on to this stuff with like creating little pictograms to go along with it. But yeah, it's been fun doing this, and clearly I need to learn more as I've gone through this series, but I've learned so much already, and I hope you have too. So I hope you join me for the last episode of Learn With Me Calligraphy. I'll see you then. Bye bye.